All right, let's cut through all the noise in financial advice, shall we? I mean, forget the gurus, forget the hot tips for a second. We're going to look at what decades of hard data actually says about building wealth. And it all starts with this one simple, really powerful idea that might just change how you think about investing forever.
You've heard it a million times, right? When the market crashes, that's your big moment. Be greedy when others are fearful and buy the dip. But what if that's actually kind of terrible advice for most of us? What if waiting around for that perfect moment is costing you a fortune? And that question, it really gets to the heart of this huge conflict in personal finance. See, on one side, you've got all the advice we hear constantly, the stories, the rules of thumb, the common sense that just feels right. But then on the other side, you have what the numbers say, what decades of market data prove. And you know what? They often tell a very, very different story. So our guide for this whole thing is Nick Maggiulli's book, Just Keep Buying. Now, he's a data scientist, and he brings this totally numbers-first approach to all these big financial questions. He really doesn't care what sounds good. He only cares about what the data shows actually works in the long run. Okay, let's dive right into the biggest myth of them all, the one that keeps so many people frozen on the sidelines, just anxiously waiting for some kind of sign. The core idea of the whole book is, well, it's right there in the title. The single most effective, data-backed way to build wealth is to just keep buying. That means you automatically purchase assets, stocks, real estate, whether the market is soaring, crashing, or just moving sideways. It's all about consistency over trying to be clever. Yeah, but that just feels wrong, doesn't it? I mean, surely someone who could perfectly time the market, who buys at the absolute bottom every single time, they've got to end up way, way ahead. So you know what? Let's run a little thought experiment. Okay, so imagine two investors. The first one is a perfect investor. Let's just call them God. They have this supernatural ability to see the future. They save up all their cash and invest their entire lump sum at the exact lowest point of every single market crash. The second investor, well, that's just you. You're not trying to be a genius. You just invest your money the same day you get it. Every paycheck, boom, you buy. So after 40 years, who do you think comes out on top? Well, the data is shocking. The perfect, all-knowing God investor, they only win by a tiny margin. We're talking sometimes as little as 10 or 15% over 4 decades. The lesson here is crystal clear. Having your money working for you for more time, that's time in the market, is so much more powerful than the impossible task of perfectly timing the market. And this quote just explains it perfectly. The market's natural state over time is to go up. So while you're sitting there holding cash, waiting for that 20% drop, the market might have already climbed 30%. That means the sale price you were so patiently waiting for is actually higher than the price you could have bought at months ago. You caught the dip, sure, but you completely missed the climb to get there. Okay, so if the big, scary investment decisions are actually way simpler than we've been led to believe, what about our daily habits? Let's see how this whole just keep buying mindset can change the everyday choices we make with saving and spending our money.
And this table just lays it all out, plain and simple. I mean, look at spending. The common advice is, cut out the lattes. But this data-driven strategy says, focus on increasing your income. Or with market moves, instead of wait for a crash, the advice is, invest immediately. It's all about focusing on what actually moves the needle, not on making you feel restricted and guilty. Let's talk about lifestyle creep for a sec. You know that thing where the more money you make, the more money you spend. Instead of trying to fight it with pure willpower, which is exhausting, Maggiulli suggests a super simple rule. When you get a raise, automatically save half of that new income. And then, this is the best part, give yourself permission to spend the other half. You're building wealth, and you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. It's a win-win. All right, now let's talk about guilt. We have all been there. You've been working hard, you see that new $400 gadget, and you really want it. But then that little voice in your head kicks in, right? You should be saving that money instead. It's this constant battle between enjoying your life today and saving for tomorrow.
But what if the answer isn't either or? What if it's both? This is where a brand new rule comes into play. To balance out that splurge, you make a second, equally important transaction. You invest the exact same amount. It's called the 2-buy rule, and it's brilliant. By matching your splurge with an equal investment, you're literally building your future while you enjoy your present. It totally reframes spending. It's not a source of anxiety anymore. It's an action that also helps you reach your long-term goals. How cool is that? Okay, so we're buying consistently, we're spending without guilt, but this brings up a really important question. Where should you be putting your energy? Should you be trying to save more money, or should you be trying to become a better investor? Well, the answer, according to the data, completely depends on where you are in your financial journey. This is what he calls the save-invest continuum. The main idea is that your focus needs to change over time. When you're just starting out and your portfolio is small, your ability to save more money has a way bigger impact than your investment returns. But as your portfolio gets huge, that whole dynamic completely flips on its head. And this chart just makes it so clear. Look at this. See how the bar for potential savings is way bigger than investment returns at the beginning? For someone just starting out, finding an extra $1,000 to save is a massive deal. But a 10% return on a small portfolio, that might only be a couple $100. Your energy is so much better spent trying to make that first bar bigger. It's only later, once your portfolio is so large that the investment returns are way bigger than what you could possibly save, that your focus should shift. So the whole point here is to take all of these big ideas and boil them down into something simple, right? An actionable playbook that you can actually start using today without all the stress and confusion that usually comes with this stuff.
So here it is, your new data-driven path. Number 1, just keep buying. Invest consistently as soon as you get the money. Don't wait. Number 2, the 50% rule. Save half of every raise to grow your wealth and your lifestyle at the same time. 3, the 2x rule. Use it to spend on things you love totally guilt-free. And finally, number 4, understand the continuum. Focus your energy on saving when you're starting out, and then shift to investing once you've built up a large portfolio.
It's a framework that's all about replacing anxiety with automation and replacing guilt with a clear process. So I'll just leave you with this one last thought. What if building wealth isn't about becoming some kind of market wizard or a perfect frugal saver? What if it's just about finding a good system and then having the discipline to stick with it?